I'm Emily Shaw, and I'm here today with Chad Johnson.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, so we can get started. I was wondering if you would like to share anything about your background growing up, specifically, so like maybe cultural background, spiritual background,
Okay.
family life.
My background, wow. Spiritually, I grew up in like a Christian household. My family's Christian. We went to church. I was a part of my youth group. I used to go and pray at the flagpole. I was one of those students, you know. My grandparents were church goers, so I grew up pretty, as far as spiritually, I was very influenced by Christianity. And somewhere along the line, I just started to question everything, you know. And I just, just started, I have journals that I wrote back then, where I just would just ask questions about my, like questions that I didn't feel like I was supposed to ask out loud. I would ask them in my journal, basically, so. But, my background, I guess that's it in a nutshell, my parents, everybody around me is still pretty devout Christian.
Okay. And where did you grow up?
I was born in LA, then we moved to Texas, and I lived there till I was about 10. And then I moved to Marin County, and then I lived there until high school, and then I lived in Vallejo, and then I moved to Sacramento in '93 for college, and I've been in Sac ever since. So I've been moving around, and even when I was in Texas, we were moving around to a lot of different locations. So I've been moving. I don't have really. Sacramento is the one place that I've been for the longest in my life.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so you talked a little bit about questioning. Could you talk more about your kind of spiritual journey or where that led you?
Yeah, I mean, at first, I think that I was, I had friends who would, ask me, we would just kind of say things that probably we wouldn't want to say in public. So we would say stuff like, yeah, right, Jonah was in a whale, stuff like that, or the snake, yeah, the snake. Just allowing myself to joke around with the questions that I had in my head about the Bible, and there was something that was freeing about it. So I actually got to the point where I just denounced the Bible altogether, Christianity. In my head, it was all false, all of it. All of it was man-made, and all of it was here, like a conspiracy theory trying to control people, right? So I went all the way to the other side. But the problem was that I didn't know I knew that I didn't believe in Christianity, and I knew that there was a God, but I didn't have any experience with that God myself. I didn't think that we had any access to that intelligence that had us here, I was taught to pray to a God and raise my hands to a God that's out there somewhere, and I used to do that earnestly, but I never really felt any connection to that intelligence. So I had to I guess after a while, I just started being more and more honest with myself. So I got back to the point where I didn't believe anything anymore, anything that I was taught. I didn't believe any religion or anything that I was taught. I was just like, okay, I'm just going to be in this void of nothingness for a while because I'm not going to believe anything from man. And then, slowly but surely, my mind started to turn against itself. All the thinking, all the trying to understand, figure things out, and worrying about my story and my life, and thinking about the future and the past. And, I really had it made up in my mind that, I, by my own power, was going to, go to law school and become this great attorney and make a bunch of money and everything was going to be good. Or, on the entertainment side, I was going to be a famous whatever, rapper or whatever, something. I had my mind was always fantasizing about the future. I was fixated on it. And in law school, I started having pretty bad panic attacks. Those panic attacks, at first I would only have a panic attack when I smoked weed, So then I just quit smoking weed because I was scared of panic attacks. And I was like, oh, okay, I'm good. But then one day I was sitting in class in law school, and my teacher was telling us about, one of the professors was telling us all the stuff that we had to do. And I was thinking about all the stuff that my other professors were telling me that I had to do. And I was just getting overwhelmed. I'm like, there's no way I could do all this reading and work a full-time job. And, and I started panicking to the point where I started thinking that I was actually going to die. And then the thought jumped in my head that you're not even high right now. You're sober and you're panicking, right? So I rushed out of class and, I was driving with my head out the window and drinking water and trying to take shots of alcohol. I didn't know what was going on. I was just going crazy. And then from that point on, I always thought that I was going to have a panic attack. I was living in a state of fear, basically. So, in front of everybody else, I was normal, my kids and my family, But inside, actually, to be around people was kind of like safe. My family, they made me feel like, oh, I'm not going to have a panic attack with my family. My kids and my wife, I can't have a panic. I felt safe. And that's the inner dialogue that I'm telling myself. And then when I had to go off on my own, my mind was just always trying to protect me. Like it's always setting up, like if I don't start thinking about that. Okay, think about this, Trying to guide my thoughts, and that just never, it might temporarily prevent a panic attack, but eventually, I was always back in one, so. And then that led to me reading The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I was studying for finals, and I just wanted to take a walk through the bookstore just to take my mind off the law, and I picked up The Power of Now, and like after reading a few pages, I knew that I would never have a panic attack again. It was so silent. It's like I got a glimpse. I got a clear, unrushed glimpse of my pure nature, unconditioned, as if I was a baby again, looking at everything for the first time. And I was sure of it. I was sure that it was real because when my heart started beating really hard, and I was just calm. I was okay with it. It just felt so good. And I knew that from then on that I could never have another panic attack because I knew that at my core, I was silent. If I was having a panic attack, then I must not be silent. I must be listening to what my mind is saying. So that's basically like the journey from being Christian, being a leader in my youth group in church, going to conferences, and to not believing at all. And then, like in the Bible, where the prodigal son starts to come back home, it's as if, it's as if the universe, God came back and saved me and said, all of it's real. Everything that you've been praying about, everything that you've been praying to this God, it's all real. It's just not outside of you.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm more Christian than any Christian that I've ever been, But I'm also a Buddhist and a Muslim and all that.